Good afternoon. Welcome to Genealogy Adventures. I'm Brian Sheffy.
And I'm Donya Williams. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's all hot outside and stuff.
Man, I know someone with my skin tone is supposed to be able to cope with this heat and humidity in Charleston, but I'm telling you, I am not built for this. I am so used to cooler climate. Man, it is roasting out there today. So I hope all of you tuning in for the next hour, however you're tuning in, I hope you're staying cool and hydrated. Because I tell you, a lot of the country's going through this today. So again, I hope you all are staying cool and hydrated.
Yeah, they are. They are. Well, y'all, we're gonna get into this. And this is
Yeah.
a big thing for me and Brian. Why is it a big thing for me and Brian? Because y'all know me and Brian are not fans of ancestry. It's not our thing. We do it because we need it. But we stay on top of them. We both have our own issues when it comes to them. Um, we both feel a certain way about them. I'm trying to be nice.
Certain
So,
different levels of saltiness. For those of you who caught our show last week, you know that that was no holds barred, and you probably saw a spicy side of me that you haven't seen for quite a while. But we're going to flip the script on Ancestry. Today, we're actually going to give them some flowers.
oh yes, we giving them mad kudos today. Mad kudos.
Today's show comes thanks to Donya. As many of you know, the museum is keeping me very busy, so I'm not doing my personal genealogy quite the way that I used to. So when there's new tools that get onboarded by Ancestry, it's Donya and the other genealogy adventures researchers who are finding them first and then excitedly, or sometimes not excitedly, sending me a text or an Insta message or something to let me know that there's a tool that I need to check out. And today, Donya has told me about a special tool for DNA analysis, and this time for Ancestry, it is truly a DNA analysis tool and it's not an entertainment tool. Donya,
That's right.
over to you.
Yes. So, okay. First of all, thank you, Miss Gilliard Music, about liking my glasses. I paid too much for them, but guess what? Thank you so much anyway. But yeah. So this whole it was not me, first of all, because you all know I am we're just not ancestry fans at all. But one of my cousins contacted me like really, really, really early in the morning, and she was like, "Danya, you need to get into this Pro Tools because this enhanced shared DNA, it is everything." So of course my whole mindset was like, yeah, okay, I guess. And she said, "No, I'm telling you, you need to really get into this. You need to blah blah this, that, da da da." I was like, whatever. All right, I'll pay the money. So that's the $10 that I paid the last time and then got it removed because we felt like all you had to do was clean your tree and all the stuff that they were offering, like the tree checker and things of that nature. It wasn't necessary. So I went back and I added this $10. And when I added this $10, my mind was completely blown. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Kudos, kudos to Ancestry for what they did. And it's been a matter of fact, I'm gonna do it for them. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. They did their thing. They got the crowd cheering, and this was something that was not expected, and they did an excellent job. I ended up finding people through this where my mom is connected, and how there have been people that for years that I didn't know why and how they're connected. I found out in 5 minutes. So this was an excellent thing.
And I'm going to say, Gwen, in this instance, I mean, everyone's going to have to make up their own mind. Let's just put that out there. Everyone needs to determine what's a value and what's not a value to them. I'm going to say, from my own personal humble opinion, this one thing alone is worth the $10. Forget every other
Yep.
part of Ancestry Pro Tools, because I'm going to stand by what I've said before. I feel, using my words very carefully, I feel that a lot of the Pro Tools offering is trash. And it doesn't actually help people with their ancestry. But what Donnie and I are going to talk to you and share with you today, this will. I'm going to give you a quick example. For those of us who've been using Ancestry before they changed the CMs, lowered the matching algorithms in the CMs, and there was that whole controversy about whether those small CMs, and by that I mean anything less than 8 CMs, were false matches and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to re-litigate all of that. Those of us who went through it, we know how we felt about that. This actually proves all of the African American genealogists who bitterly complained about the lowering of CMs, and all of our kind of non-black genealogists who understood and were our allies in that process. We
Hmm.
got vindicated. I don't even think Ancestry realizes it. We just got vindicated because I'm telling you, I saved all of my small CMs. It's been years since I've gone into researching any of them. They are back. And they're
Yep.
back in a way that Don is going to actually kind of walk us through.
So, okay, first let's get into that. Let me share my screen, and we're gonna look at, and we're gonna talk about cost too. We're gonna, because I got a lot of people
Yeah.
asking up here, so is it worth it? Brian already said that $10 is worth it, but we're gonna talk about all that money. We're gonna actually talk about
Mhm.
all. So I am sharing my mom DNA info, and I'm just gonna try to stay between mine and my children and things like that. But so this is my mom's DNA. This is my mom's stuff, and this is my sister and everything. So what I'm gonna do is just put my sister up. Now, there are the way this shared matches thing go. Here's our line. Here's our family. So if y'all see these names or whatever the case may be, that's all good. Um, that's great. So basically, when you click on share matches, once you pay for it, it's now going to say share matches pro. It's not going to just say regular shared matches. It's going to say shared matches pro. And basically, once you click on it, you're going to get a different type of screen than you got before. Back in the day, you would just get Juanita and Tamara. You just see these two names up here. And you'd see their names up at the top. But then at the bottom, everybody who's on the left of this screen, right over here, these names, those were the only things that you would see. You would see these people. Now, the thing about it is, what's different is that now Tammy's name is here. So now you're seeing what her CMs are with the person that's on the left, as well as knowing what her CMs are with Juanita. So this is for
And
people that, huh?
and clearly seeing how the two of them are related to each other, and because you know how you related to each one of them, you can start doing some segmenting or triangulation if you felt so inclined.
Exactly. So say for example, one of you guys were related to me, and it was a small amount that you were related to me, and I was not responding back. Because we in that time period where people not responding back, I didn't respond back. And then all of a sudden you were also related to my mom. Well, now you don't need me to respond back, because one of your main reasonings for contacting me was to try to find out how I would have been related to this particular person. But now that I haven't contacted you back, you end up sharing with Juanita, and Juanita shares with this person named Donya. Now you can see who Donya is, and you're going to see that Donya is her daughter, and that she shares this much DNA. And now you're starting to see the line of family that you're connected to. This is brilliant. Like, I'm I do not like Ancestry. Let me be clear. I still believe that they got the little red siren that go off when my name pop up. I know it. I know everybody got it. I know all of them got it. But this right
Again, was it or was it not this week that we just went through that I posted on
here,
Facebook a comment to something that you posted? I would be so happy to have Ancestry in my rearview mirror if there was a real alternative in terms
yes,
of just the volume of records and being able to build a tree and being able to access a lot of DNA kits. If something could do all three of those things, I would have left Ancestry in a heartbeat. So in the same week that I posted that on Facebook,
that's right.
I'm giving him flowers. So
Yes,
we can do that. We can be critical, and I like to think that
yes. It's
we're not
it's it's
we're
amazing.
not being I like to think that when we're criticizing ancestry, we're not being petty. We are being constructive as African American genealogists, knowing the challenges that we have. But when they do good stuff, you have to say that they've done good stuff. And on this one, what? Last week I said, "Do good, be good." Well, they did in this instance. They did. They
How
did.
about that? You did say that. Do better, be better.
Better. Yep.
You did do good. You did. You really did. But yeah, that's the basis of the works. And can you still hear me?
Okay. Yep. I've been fooling around with it a little bit this
Oh, okay,
morning and
because
this and this afternoon, and I'm going to say for me what I found really interesting. And I was back on this Haygood family, Hagood. It's spelled every kind of numerous way that you can think of, but it's pronounced Haygood. Back on the trail, just seeing who my matches were, and looking at the top strongest matches were all Caucasian people descended from the enslaving Haygood family, and I hope everyone who's trying to find the identity of their white enslaver, because if you can figure that out, then that's a person you need to look at for more records to extend your ancestry. There they were. I was looking at the matches that I shared in common with this Caucasian lady who was a Haygood descendant. I knew exactly who she descended from, and not unexpectedly, because I'm comparing the matches that we share in common, all of her white DNA matches showed up first. She clearly shared longer CMs with them, but then around the 8, 7, and 6 CM mark, all of a sudden the face colors changed, and you saw one brown and black person after another. Boom, 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 including Miss Juanita Yeldell in and amongst the mix. Miss Donya Williams, in and amongst the mix. Miss Yolanda Schubert, in and amongst the mix. I mean, these are cousins that I researched with that I knew very well. Um, and there you go. And a lot of those matches that were showing up for me amongst the white Haygoods, because I've always theorized that our common enslaving ancestor was probably born sometime in the very early 1700s up to about 1720. Well, those 6 and 7 CM matches put that person straight into that time period. So, again, to all of those doubters, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say it to Blaine Bettinger, when we told you that those were our family members,
Yep.
we weren't lying. They're family.
Their
You may not
family.
have
We know Blaine
understood.
ain't watching, and we know Blaine not watching. But let me tell y'all, whoever know Blaine, tell him we said that. Tell him we said that because it's mandatory that they know it and that they understand it. That this is something that we needed. We wasn't just saying this stuff just to be saying it. You know what I'm saying? It those 6 CMs was important.
Yeah, especially for the time period that they cover.
Yes.
And because for some enslaved lines, that may have been the only Caucasian ancestor that they had. And the reason why the matches are so low is in order to get score high on ethnicity matches, you have to have that ethnicity coming into your DNA on a fairly regular basis. So if it's just one and done, it's going to drop down every single generation. It's the reason why I have twice the amount of Ashkenazi, Russian, Jewish DNA than my great nieces and nephews. who are two
Mm.
generations removed from that than me. That's how DNA works. I never really understood that argument about, oh, well, if it's a 6 CMs, it's automatically false. No, no. Not when you're dealing with heavily admixed people, like a lot of people in this country of African descent.
Not only that, we already knew from a fact for a fact that we came from a group of ancestors that were consistently marrying each other, consistently trading their enslaved people amongst each other. We already knew that these things were happening. So why would we not know that we are related to these two non-melanated folks in the manner in which we were? Why would we not know that?
There would be
Yeah,
no other reason for them to be in the tree. I'm going to caveat this by saying, as much as I love Donya for sharing this news with me and making me go on this journey, I was kind of annoyed because I'm telling you, do not play with this tool unless until you have really time to sit down and go through it, because I had to do a show and it was coming up to 3:30 and I'm like, I'm down a rabbit hole. I don't
yep,
want to do the show. I want to stay in this rabbit hole. I love you all. You know I love you, but you know what it's like when you get on that research trip and I'm like, oh, there's another match. Oh, there's another match. Oh, I knew where they fit into the tree. I'm telling you, if you take anything away from today's episode, do not play with this shared tool until you really have time to sit down, because I'm telling you, it's going to take one DNA match you're going to find and you're down that rabbit hole, and it'll probably be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning by the time you
yep,
raise your head and take a breath.
yep, yep. You're gonna be up. Matter of fact, um I saw a post on one of those genealogy groups that I'm in, and one person said, "Did y'all get any sleep?" I was like, "Oh my god," because yeah, I'm in total agreement with them on that one. And I want you guys to definitely, chime in. Tell us what your thoughts are on this and how it's been helping you. I think one person has already said that they were finding, yeah, Terry Burks, he says, I'm finding new things and connecting cousins. But it's not even just about connecting cousins. The one of the things that I've come to the realization.
I hope that that's not me. I hope that that's not me that froze. Okay, I'm gonna carry on talking until Donnie comes back. I'm gonna assume that it's on her end and not mine. Um, right. The other thing that I also wanted to mention, that Donnie and I were talking about it while we were in the green room, was, again, it's something that we've. Oh, okay. So it's okay. Thank you for clarifying that. So one thing that I'm going to really also advise people to do, and again, it was the same thing that happened around the short CMs, is again for African Americans, we chat about it amongst ourselves. Non-melanated people sometimes feel the need when they see black and brown faces on their DNA match list to close their tree, hide their DNA results, or hide you from their match list. So because this is a new thing and a new tool, and I'm not sure how widespread the knowledge is about this tool, if you are African American and you are researching how you're connected to an enslaving family, you need to get in there and start taking screen grabs of as many of these matches trees as you humanly can do, um, to give you a basis to start to research.
Definitely, definitely. Sorry, guys. I don't know why my phone, not my phone, my internet literally decides not to work every Sunday at 4 o'clock. I'm keeping it real. But yeah, I'm in total agreement with you on that one, Brian. I'm trying to get caught up on these comments. Karen said, "Yes, I know the rabbit hole."
Man, and there is no deeper rabbit hole than a genealogical one. Swear, there isn't.
Right. And Lucretia says she may have found the enslaved of her grandfather's line. I mean, and that's what this does. And I'm really glad that you guys got it. I'm sorry I froze, guys. But yeah, I'm really glad that you're able to do that. And that just literally puts just that exclamation point on how important those CMs are. And the fact that they're adding them to this instead of just now you can see everybody is no more 20 CMs. Y'all need to jump on this quickly. Because if they
Uh,
find out, they're gonna change it.
yeah. So I'm going to answer this question first, and Donnie, I know you're going to have thoughts. It's the question that Charlene Lewis asked. So are they, meaning Ancestry, giving us back what we used to be able to access a few years ago before they changed the level of matches we were able to access? I'm going to say yes and no. I'm going to say yes, they inadvertently did it. So
Yep.
when I was so excited at the top of this seeing DNA matches that I hadn't seen in years, I'd save them. I can go back and I can access them anytime I want to. But the beautiful thing is, I don't have to go into my saved DNA, my saved small segment DNA matches. They are automatically appearing all the way towards the, because they are smaller CMs, towards the bottom of my match list when I click that Pro shared tool. It's beautiful. I don't have to go hunting for them anymore. They're there. Now, I don't know if Ancestry is going to realize they kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit there. Um, that it did inadvertently vindicate all of us who complained so bitterly. So I don't know if they're going to do any kind of moving and shaking to undo that. But for the time being, they're there. You really shouldn't have to go digging into your saved small matches. You should start seeing them.
Well, Shelly asked to give another example. I want to try to be careful about giving examples because I don't want to give out other people's stuff. I especially if they don't know. But I won't
Okay,
show it. Go
let,
ahead.
let- I'm happy to use one from my ancestry. So, as longtime viewers of the show know that my mother's father, his biological father, was Jewish. He was an immigrant from Belarus. That is, I have smattering of Jewish elsewhere, but that's the significant wedge of Jewishness in my ancestry. So I had noticed that a lot of my much smaller Jewish CMs, and this we're talking about fourth, fifth cousins, one time removed, two times removed. They had disappeared when Ancestry did the algorithm change. Well, they're still there. So obviously, my Jewish cousins who are like my first cousins one time removed, my second cousins one time removed, they're much higher up on the match list. And when I look at who we share in common, I may have just found one set of my three times Jewish great grandparents in Belarus,
Mm. See,
based off
and that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
based on someone that I share about just under 9 CMs with. Because
And
also for me, don't forget those are half relations. So they're not full first cousins; they are half first cousins, which automatically means we're going to be sharing less DNA than traditional first cousins would.
right, right. And I think, I mean, if I wanted to, like I said, my mom has people who were um my mom was an Eve. Let's start there. Let's start there. My mom, when I did my mother's DNA back in like what was it, like 2013 or something like that. It's been over 10 years. Yeah. Something like that around 2013. My mom, when her DNA popped up, I did it first on 23andMe. And when her DNA popped up, she was matching every surname in the Edgefield area. I mean, every last one. Now, there was another lady who's passed on. Her name was Sheila, and my mom matched Sheila. Sheila was also an Eve like person. And it started to show up that if Sheila did not match If a person matched Sheila, then they matched one end of Edgefield. If they matched my mom, then they matched the other end of Edgefield. But if that person matched both of those ladies, y'all was just short. You was everybody. You literally was you were related to everyone. So let's start there. Juanita is a Eve. And because Juanita is an Eve, why is Juanita an Eve? Juanita is an Eve because her parents are related to each other. Her father's great grandmother is the sister to her mother's grandmother. Why? Who is that person? Where is it going to? It's going to Moses. So there, those two sisters' mother is a woman named Martha Ann Williams slash Settles, and her father is Moses. So my mom is her own cousin just on that alone. But my mom is also a descendant of two more of his children, Moses Jr. and Violet Williams. So those are names that you've all heard before. Juanita is literally a great grandchild of one of those, of every last one of those, of at least three. And now there may be a fourth one, but the fact that there may be a fourth one and using this tool, I may be able to find it out. I'll probably be able to narrow it down. My mom is connected to the Brooks family. Now I can do what I need to do to get all of those Brookses that my mom is connected to. I'm talking about Preston Brooks. And, just getting all of those Brookses because of what this can do. So, yeah, this
And
is
actually,
essentially
there were kind of three Eves because there was Sheila, there's your mother Juanita, and then there
in
was
this
my aunt
gene.
Jane.
Mm-hmm.
And you could almost work out that if you matched all three, would give you specific family lines to look at. If you matched two, that would again give you a slightly different configuration of families that you needed to work with. And if you matched all three, just cry. Just just just
Just cry.
just,
I mean,
just start
accept
crying.
it. Accept it. So Yolanda asks, will we be able to find more of Moses Williams' children? That's an
We
easy
hope.
answer.
We hope.
Yeah, I do believe that we will be able to do that. And then I want to say hi to EM because apparently she is matching my daughter. Donya Alexis is my daughter. That's not me. That's my daughter. But we gonna see where you share at, and it depending upon where it is. If you're matching my mother, I've gotten to the conclusion that if you match my mom fourth or below, then it's coming through Moses. Like I'm 100% certain on that.
Actually, before I forget, because I will forget, conversation for another, a little sidebar for another time. I've worked out that people who match closely my Aunt Jean, but don't match either Sheila or your mother, tend to be either Abneys, Abernathy's, or Popes.
And see
That's on the
now
net.
that's crazy, and this can show that now. You can literally pinpoint a line with this DNA. You can pinpoint. I looked at one person on here, and because of the people that she was matching and how high she was matching them and the direction her match was going with them, I could actually sit up here and say, oh, this is Fanny and Enoch's kids. I mean, this is one they did their thing. Kudos to them. They did their thing.
Now, the other thing that I realized that Donnie and I talked about in our kind of before we had the show was that the missing 1890 census is just a nightmare for so many different reasons. But we realized that we had a whole group of kids that we could never figure out who their parents were because they would have only, especially the girls, the women, because they would have been a girl in 1890 on that 1890 census, which doesn't exist, but in the 1900 census they were married. They wouldn't have been on the 1880 because they were born, well, they were born after the 1880 census was enumerated, missed on the 1890 because it doesn't exist, and then they were married in 1900. This tool, Donnie managed to point out at least, what was it, two or three people that
Three,
fit that time. I call them the lost 1890 people. There were two or three of them that we
three,
found just through that. Three.
three, and they all
Mhm.
connect back to my grandfather's sister, which is amazing because these were people that we did not know. That was one of the folks that was 5 minutes. Years we've been trying to figure these things out. Years. And in 5 minutes,
Mhm.
all I did was pull up that tool and did it the way that I did and started seeing folks in a different light. That's when you're like, oh, okay, that's why we really, you know, you,
You know, and especially if your ancestors or family were living in a county or a state that were late to have vital records, specifically
mhm.
marriage and birth and death records, um, or they had marriage records like Edgefield, but for whatever reason, a lot of times
Didn't put the parents' name.
the name of the parents
Hmm.
were never entered.
Yep,
So this
that
this
part.
this one tool is wonderful for kind of breaking through those brick walls too.
Yes, it is.
You have someone say they couldn't resist. They're like, sorry, I couldn't resist.
I can't
They're
believe
looking.
I'm not doing it.
They're looking.
You gotta look. You have to look, guys. You have to look.
Mm.
You gotta check it out because it's so much that's going on with this particular one. The $10 is someone asked, is the $10 worth it? Without a doubt. It's worth it without the extra stuff. Without that other stuff, the tree checker and all that other craziness that they have, the family charts, and you should be offering the charts anyway. It's a family tree site. You should be offering it. The chart should have already been there.
And a little hint for people who have, I'm sorry if I mispronounce, I'm still trying to remember how to correctly pronounce it, Appalachian ancestry. Another person that I was looking at, she's also an end of wall ancestor. Poor girl, she got married. Frances or Fanny got married at the age of 13. Caucasian, married at the age of 13, but never really knew what her maiden name was. No, sorry, she got married at 16. But there is a 13-year-old part to this. Anyway, there was a marriage record. She got married under the surname Robertson. Could not find this girl for love nor money in any other place. But this DNA tool actually showed that she was a Smythe. She got married at the age of Robertson was her married name. She had got married to a William Robertson before she got married a second time at the age. Can you imagine that? Let's just stop there for a hot second. By the time the girl was 16, she had been married twice and she was the mother of three kids.
Wow.
But because where she was living in Tennessee, there was high rates of illiteracy. There were no schools, all of that kind of stuff. She was a nightmare to research. Most Appalachian people who are really poor are just a nightmare to research because the records, they're just not there. Um, this tool is already leading me to who her parents were. So this works for everybody, not just African Americans. This works for everybody. I've already said it. I found a Jewish, three times great grandparents, Jewish. Now I'm working on this girl and the Appalachians, and then hopefully, again, we're going to find more of Moses's daughters.
Yeah, I think we are too. I want the two people that are related to my mom. Well, EM, I think you gave me your line on Ancestry. You guys send me a DM. Tell me what your username is so I can look you up and see where the connection is. Cause I might be able to tell you who the connection is just like that. Cause my tree is so big and it's really it's about as correct as it can be. But I consistently clean on it. I consistently work through it. So I'll never tell anybody to copy my tree, but I'm a toot my own horn, beep beep. I got a good tree. I will toot that horn. I do have a good tree. So yeah, definitely DM me, private message me. I will definitely respond back to you and without any hesitation. Come to me. Don't do it on Genealogy Adventures. Look for Donya Papoose and send her a message. That's me.
Yes,
So,
while we're on that topic, I'm afraid that because I just get a crazy number of messages on Ancestry, and most of the time it's asking me if I have pictures for people who were alive in the 1700s or other pieces of information. Listen, the genealogy adventures tree, whatever I have, is on the tree. But anyway, I have way too many messages. I think I'm knocking on about 900 of them.
oh
There's no way
Jesus.
I'm going. There's no way I'm going through 900 messages. So if you've messaged me and you haven't heard from me, I'm really sorry. I just don't have time to go through filtering out all the kind of not important ones to get to the ones that are really genuinely trying to share information. So I'm sorry. It is what it is. Donnie, I get nearly 20 25 messages a day. A
I'm
day.
sure you do. I'm glad y'all don't like me like that. And keep it that way. Keep sleeping on Donya. That's what I need y'all to do. Keep sleeping on Donya. Keep thinking I don't know, because that's fine for me. That is fine by me. Please, by all means, keep sleeping on Donya. But yeah, the other thing that we wanted to get into was costs about different things. And as far as ancestry is concerned and the nickel and diming and the, how much money people are spending with or on each other when it comes to that. I feel like this. For me, I am not being nickel and dime. So this is yet another kudos. So go on and mark. This is why it's hot outside, because we giving kudos to ancestry. This is it. I don't feel that I'm nickel and dime, but I may be giving y'all some information too. And I don't feel I'm nickel and dime because of this reason. I get World, I get Fold 3, I get newspapers.com, basic, and the publisher extra. And now I get this. This, along with all of that, in my opinion, is definitely worth that $59 a month that I'm paying, because that's what I now pay since I did. Because now they got my money for the $10. They got my money. They're gonna keep my money until it's done. But that 50, I paid $59.99. At first, I paid $49.99. Now I pay $59.99 a month. And I don't feel like I'm being nickel and dime. I think all of that is worth it. Now, this is the information that I'm about to feed to you guys. I had to ask for that publisher extra. A lot of people don't realize that. And I may be telling on myself, because I know Ancestry watches. I know they got at least one person from Ancestry that is on our show every day. I know they do. But I had to ask for it. I did. I had to ask for it. And in asking for it and telling them that, I want to make sure that I continue to keep Publisher Extra, because originally I was paying for that separately. They were like, "Oh no, you don't have to do that. I got it." So if you guys don't get Publisher Extra, and matter of fact, if you don't know what Publisher Extra is, Publisher Extra, if you've gone on to somebody just got the Pro Tools. But Publisher Extra is those newspapers.com that if you have basic newspapers.com and then you go to try to click on a newspaper like that's in Philadelphia and there's a little orange plus button beside it, that's Publisher Extra. You actually have to pay an additional amount of money to get those. But I have it all bundled. I got Fold 3, I got everything bundled together for originally the $49.99. And now I've added this $10. I paid $59.99. This is definitely worth the $10 that I've added. So that's my thing. I don't feel like I'm being done like that.
I kind of go up and down on a seesaw. I guess it depends on what I'm assessing in terms of value for money and cost benefit ratios. Now, Ancestry is less expensive than some of the other, genealogical family history sites. Not particularly interested in calling out names. Some of them are very expensive, and they don't have as many records as Ancestry has.
I'll call the
Um,
name MyHeritage.
yes, okay, that is one. Um, I guess my viewpoint's a little skewed because the wonderful thing about working at the museum and we're doing digitizing records for the archive is digitization costs money. Time costs money. Getting there, getting to the repositories, and getting that all of that stuff costs money. So Ancestry has sunk some change, so a huge wedge of money in making these records available, and then there's the cost of coding and all those good things. I personally still feel part of me feels that my enslaved ancestors prepaid some of this for me. Um, I don't want to use the reparations word, and I know other people are like, well, it's unfair to those of us who don't have any enslaved ancestry. I feel as though my enslaved ancestors paid this forward for me. The other part of it is I don't feel that the pricing is transparent because I remember the first show we did about Pro Tools. People were saying, oh, wait a minute, you're only being charged 10? I got charged 20. And other people were like, I got charged 12. I got charged 15. The thing about genealogy and family history, and I guess it's the thing that I admire about the LDS Church, either you are serious about connecting people to their past and providing them with all the records and resources and tools available to make that happen, or at least increase the likelihood of happening, or you're just out to make money. You
Yeah.
can't be both. You cannot be both. Um, and I think that's the journey for Ancestry over perhaps the next 5 to 10 years. Is it going to be like the LDS Church, where it is actually creating the tools and accepting that perhaps in lowering the cost, it is going to make less money, but they're doing a public good. They're helping people understand their ancestry, and through researching their ancestry, uncovering, at least in terms of American customers, the history of the United States, the real, true history of the country, because we see it reflected in our ancestry. I don't care how you identify, I don't care what ethnicity you feel the strongest association. That is true for everyone. You research your genealogy, you learn about history, you understand about how this country was founded. That's my 2 cents. Either you want to you want to enable people to have that journey, or you're just out to make money. That's what I
Well,
got.
that goes back to the question that Gwen had. She said, because Ancestry now has this option, does this put fire under the other websites? That's a great question.
Mhm. Family Search, no, because they're doing their own thing and they're on their own journey. They've got their own records and they have their own processes, and they're free. We know that they're free. Now the 23andMe doesn't have records, but MyHeritage, does Family Tree do they have records?
FTDNA does not have
I
records.
didn't I didn't think
My
so.
Heritage does, but My Heritage records. And let me clarify some things, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I had to choose, I honestly would choose My Heritage.
Yeah.
Be and I actually would definitely choose My Heritage, but the only reason the problem with My Heritage is that when you choose My Heritage, they're not just giving you access to millions of records. First of all, their records are more European, Middle Eastern. They're there. They have a lot of records in that area. I'm not saying that they don't have the local domestic records or anything like that, but they have a lot of those records. But they also give you a family website, and the website is fire. It is amazing. They have one of the best databases I've ever seen. Right before this whole DEI thing, was going on, they were already adding things like if someone wasn't married, they would just put sick. They had a label for it. But the main thing is if it was two same sex, they put partner. They had partner up there. Like they were well ahead of the DEI stuff before US had gotten to it. So My Heritage, they're expensive, but you're getting so much with them. But I still don't think they need to be as expensive as they are.
Have a
I just,
or to have a monthly pay option.
or have a monthly pay option, because right now they don't. We get the $299 a year. Everybody don't have $300 to just drop on a company. They just don't have that to just drop on a company like that. Split that 299 up. You might get me. Well,
Yeah.
you actually do have us now. The calling all branches. There's some family members that have gotten together and we are paying for it, and we're going to pay for it every year,
Mhm.
and we're going to do that. But that website, because and we're doing it because of the website. That website will allow you to make something simple as make plan cards with pictures of your families on them. And when you do that, y'all remember the game Concentration, and you had to go and find a match, and you can play Concentration with your family, know who they are. Something as simple as that is one of the best things that I've ever. I truly love that site.
They also have some of the best DNA analysis tools
Oh,
on the market. Hands down on the market, best tools.
yeah. Oh, Shelly pays a lot. She was like, I am 259 every 6 months. Oh no, Shelly. $259 for Ancestry? You call me after this, after we get off. No, ma'am.
No,
Oh, she said MyHeritage. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot. And you
that's a
have
lot.
to do that. It's a lot. Now, MyHeritage will allow you to be free for 250 people or less on your tree. Soon as you go over that 250, you got to start paying with them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say the way they were dropping kids in Edgefield, yeah, you're gonna hit that 250 by the time you blink.
You go look, who is our grandfather Moses? We already got 250 grandchildren for him. It's no way we would be able to do it. And that's just it, Dorcas. Like we said, they don't. MyHeritage does not have a monthly option.
No.
Yeah, they don't have that monthly option. And if I mean it's an awesome site, but it costs a lot. It
Put it
costs a
this
lot.
way, I set aside 25 to 30 bucks, put it into my remote savings account every month just to be able to drop that money once a year.
Yeah. I mean I may have well we got it now, so but yeah, so how do you guys what are your feelings on other sites, and that is a good question. I don't think we really got into that whole question of do other companies need to step up? Because what about the smaller companies like what do you call it? Oh god, it just went out of head. Just went out of my head.
DNA testing or
It's DNA testing companies. Those other just straight DNA testing companies. Like 23andMe don't offer what they don't offer the research. They offer health. Um, but with this type of tool with 23andMe, oh my God. Because that's something in itself. And living DNA, that's it. Jet match. Yes. Do these tools in jet match. What if jet match has something like this?
Hmm, that's
That's something.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine if Jetmatch had records.
Oh,
Let's just start with that.
if they had records. But yeah, 23andMe, I think that, yeah, I do. In short, Gwen, I think this is giving the other companies a run. This is something that they need to definitely look into, this type of thing. Shelly made a comment and she said, do we still need chromosome browsers on Ancestry? What's your thoughts on
Yes,
that?
we need every tool that we can get. Every no, okay, let me rephrase that. We need every kind of valid DNA analytical tool that we can get. Nothing that comes off of people's family trees. just DNA analytical tools. That's why I love this so much. This has nothing to do with family trees. You can see your matches family trees, but like through line, this is nothing like through lines. This is coming through DNA.
Yeah. And that's why I like it, because through lines is trash. If y'all didn't know, I that do y'all remember? Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. Do y'all remember the We're Related app? If y'all remember the We're Related app, that's what Through Lines is. Through Lines is the We're Related app.
I
And
still
go ahead.
I still say our viewers would be bored and sick to the back teeth of me saying that the biggest mistake Ancestry ever made was getting rid of DNA circles. Biggest mistake we ever made.
Well, but look at what DNA circles were. DNA circles was based on DNA.
Yep,
And
it sure
let's
was.
look at what this is now. This is now similar to DNA circles. Yes, Mika, that's why we cousins, because you despise through lines just like I do. But I mean, DNA circles is what that's what that was. If y'all hear squeaking, that's not Bruno. He's not whining. He's playing with his toys, so I apologize. But yeah, that's what DNA circles were. They were this in so many words. So maybe they brought DNA circles back, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And I can sit with that. I can definitely
So
sit with
now the biggest question that I have for myself is when can I clear some time in my schedule so that I can get into these matches before people start shutting their trees, hiding me, hiding their DNA test from me.
exactly.
That is gonna be the biggest challenge. It really is.
Yeah, and I need y'all to definitely get into that and be mindful of that, because y'all know what happened when they changed the CMs. Y'all know why it happened. Everybody know why it happened. Um, yeah, I'm trying not to say it. So everybody,
Honestly, it reminds me of those old black and white Western movies when, you know, the wagon train was getting attacked and the wagons would circle around each other, man, to watch those treat, because it was always whole family groups. You could tell people were on the phone, they were texting, they were emailing each other. We ain't having this. Close
yeah,
your tree. Don't give
yep,
these people nothing. Lock your
yep.
tree, because I'm not going to name names. And the Edgefield family, the Timmermans and the Rootses and the Dorns, those trees were shutting
Shutting down. They were shutting down
within a
quickly.
48-hour period. All of the ones that we had been looking at were miraculously, mysteriously now
Gone.
locked,
Yep,
private.
they locked them out. They did what they wanted to do. They was like, no, I don't understand why this is like that. And then right after, maybe a month after those calls was happening like that and things were going on, next thing you know, oh, we're changing the thing. We're gonna drop six. See, they're gonna lift it a little bit higher because of blah blah blah. And then you had all those people walking on top of it, like Blaine and others, making these statements that, yeah, those were no good anyway. No good to who? That's the thing. But I want Deborah made a statement, because we are at the top of the hour, and she said she never had a DNA circle. Some other people have said that too, but I want to get on this for you, Deborah. She said through lines has been useful for me. Let me tell you something. Through lines is based on trees only. So if somebody's tree is messed up, then the information that you're getting from through lines is wrong information. So be
Matter of
careful, be
fact,
careful, be
we
careful.
just saw one for a Peterson family group. Donnie and I knew this Peter. We know our Peterson family inside and out. We've been working
Yeah,
on it for longer than even I care to think about. And this person made a school child error. They attached the wrong set of Petersons as their ancestors. That's now up on through lines. And it's irritating because we know who the correct parents are for this particular person.
yeah. Yep.
And they will not change their tree. It's not like Donya or Donya and others haven't reached out to this person to tell them. And Yolanda, you'll appreciate this. This involves Rosa Lewis. And the Lewises are a nightmare to begin with, and when you've attached the wrong set of parents to somebody, it just makes it needlessly complicated. Bruno's
And
having a
see,
great time over there.
and here's the thing, that this is what I'm talking about. Our allies, Sharon Rowe, who's also one of the Genealogy Adventures team members. Look at what she said. I'm gonna read it. Let me know any of those usernames, and I will look to see if I have them. I start most of my 6 and 7 CM matches before they disappear. This is what an ally looks like. I need y'all to know. And she will go in and she will send. I told y'all the story of Sharon and Mandawa. I told y'all that story. She is not playing. She does not play about her family. And we are her family. And she's going to make sure that we get what we need to get. That's what I'm talking about. But
Again,
yeah,
another
so
topic for another topic for another day. I struggle to understand what the fear is because we know the money is gone. We know the plantation is probably gone. I personally, the only thing I need are either records or information. I have my own money. I don't need your money. I'm not coming for your money. If I'm going to ask anyone for money for slavery, it's going to be the federal government. It's not going to be a descendant of an enslaving family. You know what I mean?
that's so
I
good.
want nothing from you other than information and records if you have them. If
And
you don't want it,
there's one other thing I want. I
what's
want
that?
recognition. Recognition.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I guess
I want
because
recognition.
I'm being real about the country that I find myself living back in again, I'm not even expecting that. I guess I don't even need that because I know the likelihood is I'm not going to get it. When you have someone call out to you specifically, we do not have black people in our family. Well, that's funny because you got a lot of black and brown faces on your DNA match list. Let's just start with that.
Baby, let's just start with that. Let's just start with that. Or I'm 99% white. Oh, you must be that 1%. Then that's how we're related. That 1%. These are things that were actually said to us, y'all. Like, he's not making this up. He didn't make that first comment up. I don't have black people in our. That literally came out of a woman's mouth. And the sad thing is, I had to warn him because she said it to me first.
Yep.
So yeah, these are things that actually came out their mouth, and I'm just, yeah, it's
It is
it's
what it
it's
is.
amazing what we get.
And again, no bitterness, no hatred, no bad feeling. I mean, unless someone tries to mess me up with my research, there's no ill will or bad feeling. It is what it is. It happened. Let's just get past it. All I need is information so I can extend this enslaved line back another generation or two.
That's
That's
it.
it. That's the start and finish for me.
That's it. Well, I just want to
So,
thank you guys for just joining us
mhm.
today, and I know we got somebody to do the at least one person. I hope we get some more, and I hope they get some more because this is worth it. It's well worth it, and kudos to Ancestry for that. So, with that
so
being
accept
said,
Yeah. So, Ancestry, hopefully you will accept the flowers from us in the spirit in which they were intended. I hope that this was an informative show for all of you guys. As always, it's been a pleasure spending the night. I can't believe this hour has gone by as quick as it has.
it did, it did.
I still feel as though we're only 15 minutes into the show, but thank you because we are actually at the hour. We'll see you next Sunday, 4 p.m. in all the usual spaces. Have a great
Yes.
day.
Bye, guys.